YouTube. This is TheDon coming to you with another how-to video. So today is going to be part 3 of builds. But what we're going to be covering is your actual character and how to make them as strong as possible utilizing pretty much everything. Your gear, your gems, godly weapon if you have it, your alliance tech, protection for, mainly just your heroes because you can't have it on your main character, your knights, treasures, refined, goddesses. This is going to be one jam-packed video into a very short amount of time, so I hope you guys are ready and you're paying attention. So the first thing we're going to cover, because it's pretty much the easiest thing, is going to be your alliance tech. So you want to maximize on all the alliance tech that you possibly can, but depending on the build that you have, you're going to want to specifically tailor to some. So with a bruiser class, you still want your main character to be kind of like a glass cannon. So if you're a glass cannon, also pay attention. But you're going to want to do your strike because it does your attack. You're going to want to do your explosives because it's your crit. And you're going to want to do your mystic arts because of the toughness. The other ones are also good to have. Your first aid for your HP, alchemy for your PDef, solar calendar for your MDef, ballistics, dodge, crawl or brawling for your parry. Those are also important to have, but if you don't have enough coins in order to do them all, I would suggest sticking to that first list that I gave you. Alright, next thing on topic is going to be your gear. With any character, you're going to want to utilize my, one of my old videos in order to how to lock the actual gear when you're purifying it, so that way you can get the stats that you want higher up. Now, for anybody out there, you're going to want all gold stats on everything, but mainly for, bruiser and glass cannon, on all of your gear that you have, you're going to want to pertain towards attack and crit, because your attack you always want up, and your crit is kind of hard to get anywhere else, so you're going to want to do it on that also. So all your gear, just remember attack and crit. That's what you're going to be aiming towards, but PDef, MDef, dodge, parry, those are all good ones to have. Mainly the one that you want to kind of steer away from is your HP, because if you're all the way down to your main character, he's pretty much dead anyways. So next thing that we're going to cover is your gems. Now gems are pretty important because they affect a lot of your advanced stats, such as your deadly and your toughness. So those two are important for a bruiser or a glass cannon, because when you have a lot of toughness, then you can crit. And when you crit at 1.5, you're going to want to crit at the highest amount in accordance with your deadly. So those three kind of all tie in together. They affect each other. So you want to work on all of them and have them at least even, if not, as high as you can possibly get them. I don't know how to, make that stick anything more. If you don't get anything out of this video, just remember your crit, toughness, and deadly are going to be your most important things that you're going to want to get. So for toughness, as long as your toughness is as high as your other ones, I wouldn't worry about how many gems you have. Typically, I usually only do 4. So you see on my boots, on my belt, on my jacket, and on my necklace, they all have toughness. Everything else is going to have damage and deadly and attack. So the reason why I do that is because when you're actually fighting people and whatnot, your damage from plus damage is going to be your basic damage. No matter what you do, when you hit somebody and it doesn't parry or dodge, it's going to be doing a minimal amount of how much plus damage you have. So if you look at mine is at plus damage 38,937 damage. So no matter what, when I hit somebody, it's going to do that damage no matter what. Now, the other side of that is your deadly. So deadly on your gems is pretty important, so I try to even them out so that way my deadly and my damage is kind of even. pretty much all the way up to my headgear has attack, deadly, and damage. And then once I start putting on my, purple ones for toughness, I spaced them out 2 and 2. It just kind of happened the way that it does. But then your last one is your attack, and you want to attack on every single one of them because you want your attack to be as high as possible. So that way your minimum and maximum attack is highest. So that way when you hit your crit off of your toughness, your deadly is as much as possible. I don't know if any of that makes any sense. It makes sense when I'm thinking about it, but the way that I said it, it may not. But basically, you want toughness in order to get a crit attack, and you want as much deadly as possible so you can cause max damage. An example of that is, let's say I didn't crit at the damage that I'm doing right now. Even with deadly as high as I can do, I'm only going to do 18 or 11,000, right? Or 118,000. Sorry, my eyes are like fucking up right now. But I'm going to be doing 118,000 damage without crit. Now let's say I crit, but I only crit at my minimum because my deadly is really low. So I'm only going to crit at 61,000, which means I'm only going to be doing about 90,000 because you're doing 1.5 damage, which is half the damage on top of what you're doing. So I'm only going to be doing 90,000 damage. Now let's say the stars align and I crit at my max damage, right? So I'm going to be doing over 150,000 or 160,000 roughly, with my attack maximum being 118,000. I don't know if that makes any sense, but you're doing time, or it's like kind of overtime on your, if you're working overtime, you do time and a half, which is what you have plus half of what you have. So if you're doing it at 118,000, that's roughly 60,000 more. So actually I'd be doing about 180,000 damage, rather than the 90,000 damage that I would be doing if I didn't have deadly up. So that's kind of why your gems are important as far as toughness and deadly. Your attack you can get in a lot of places. Your damage you can get in a couple of different places, like your mount and whatnot, but mainly those ones are going to be the ones that you're going to focus on are your toughness and your deadly off of your gems. So there's a lot of things that go into your character, and it's kind of hard to explain them all in such a short video, but with your parry and dodge, they're not as important as your toughness, deadly, and crit, but they are still important just in case you do get hit really hard. You can possibly survive and then hopefully kill them in return. But another thing that's going to affect you is your godly weapon. So when you, due to this new update that they did a little while ago, and most of you probably already know about it, but your awakened skills. So the top one is going to be by far the most important one, is going to be your godly weapon skill level. So if you find that one in a gold series for your top, or we'll just take a look at it, right? So when you're doing this, right, you're going to use either gems or you're going to use those little stones in order to get this, but you use that, get your godly weapon skill up as high as you can. If you have a level 2 godly weapon, you get an extra slot, and my suggestion, just from personal experience, I put mine towards my exo hero because I want him to last as long as I possibly can. The reason why is that's kind of why I'm a bruiser class. I use that to make my exo stronger, so that way my endo and my character can survive longer. Plus, all the stats that come with your deadly weapon. If you don't have one, it's not necessarily, needed, absolutely, but it does help a whole lot. Just that godly weapon skill level, with mine, it says combo hit increases immunity 64%. Each crit hit to opponent removes extra 8% max HP. Crit also has, I can't read it because it's all covered up, but it has something chance of interrupting boss skill. I think it's like 10% chance or something like that, or 15. But it has a chance to interrupt boss skill level. So that's important off of your godly weapon. The next thing we're going to be covering is your knights, but your knights really affect mainly your heroes. So we'll take a look at them just for, you know, the sake of having it. The main thing that I want to cover with your knights is the new update that they did for your third character. So if in your lineup, if two of your heroes or two or more of your heroes have the +1 or +2, as long as you can get those up to +3 between all of your characters, your knights, your top knight that you have right here is going to give a bonus to your exo hero. So you see right here, your exo hero gives, well, mine gives 2,778 to my MDef and the same to my PDef. So that's important with the bruiser class also, because it's increasing what your exo hero can survive in order for your endo and your main character to do damage. So the next one that I'm going to cover is your goddesses. So goddesses are main, like, a lot of people don't give goddesses enough credit, but they really do help out your character. For mine, I know I've already done a video on goddesses, so I'm just going to really quickly blow through this, but you know, you want your exo to be tanky for a bruiser class, so I put stuff on there to make him tanky. You want your endo to do as much damage, so I put on as much stuff as I can on there to make my exo or my endo do as much damage as they can. My endo is kind of just a fill spot. I just put whatever in that one, a little bit of extra damage and some attack on her. And then on my main character, I did mainly just plus damage, so that way every time I hit somebody, no matter what, it's going to do that damage. So that really covers a whole lot of information. I hope I didn't go too fast for all of you, but I really didn't want to make like an hour-long video just to cover different things that go into your character. You know, just for an example, we're going to go to the wilds real quick. I'm going to do a couple single hits on some characters, or on some of these little NPC spiders we got here, and then we'll do a couple of my skilled ones, so that way you can see why you want toughness, deadly, and crit on everything. So we'll attack this one right here. 381,000. 381,000. 381,000. So just right there, you see me hit all three of them one time with my first skill, critted every single time. And you know, I probably didn't do max damage because I could probably do more, but pretty much every time I hit one of these, so that one was 470 something thousand. So the reason why that one was a little higher than the other ones was because my exo and my endo, both their toughness made me crit at the at a higher damage than it did earlier. So that one I only did like 190,000. So the reason for that is because nobody crit. My exo, my endo, and my character, nobody crit that whole time. Even that one was 140,000. So the whole reason for that is nobody crit. You know, nobody hit the deadly. Nobody did anything. So it did minimum damage. So that one was 800,000 damage. So that one, I'm going to guess all three of my characters just did max damage, just did crit damage at the highest deadly, right? So 800,000 just off of one basic attack. So now we're going to look at my, we'll look at this one. Boom, 274,000. I think that was 2 million, I'm not positive. 2,170,000 just from my little slide forward. I can't remember what these skills are called, but yeah, 2,740,000 just off of one slash. Then 2,170,000 off of that one, and then 829,000 per hit on my little, AoE attack. So just between my three attacks, I'm doing well over 5 million damage almost. So that one I didn't crit on anybody, so it only did the minimum. That one I didn't hit anything. That one I didn't crit. We'll do my ultimate. So let's see what this does. 269,000 times 16, which, you know, isn't a whole lot. We're gonna try to get one in that's where I'm critting on something. That way I can see how much damage I'm doing with that. We gotta waste like 12 seconds here, so we can hopefully get it. I'm just gonna throw him in auto. So we'll sit here and watch and see what he does. So if any of this doesn't make sense or anything like that, just comment below. I'll try to explain it a little bit more. Obviously, warriors and your summoners are going to be having different skill sets and possibly, you know, different builds. So just try to do what you can, but do as much damage as you can. So 624,000 times 16, that's how much my ult does. So I'm not good with math off the top of my head, but at least, you know, over 6 million just off of 10. Another, you know, 3 million off of the next 5. So I'm doing about 9 million damage on just my ult alone. No, that doesn't seem right. 16 times 600. Yeah, it might be right, might be wrong. Somebody else can comment below and tell me how bad my math skills are. But just so you can see, your toughness, crit, and deadly are all extremely important. You know, I make them at least even, so that way I'm hitting them as many times, each one of them as many times as possible. I don't want my toughness way too high, because then I'm never gonna, you know, if it affects my deadly or my crit, I'll never put my toughness higher. But if I can get my toughness higher plus the other ones higher, or if it doesn't affect them as much, then, you know, by all means, do what you're gonna do. But that's all I have time for in this video. If you guys liked it, comment, share. Hopefully, you know, if nothing else, watch my other videos. That way you guys can get caught up. If you're already caught up on all those videos and you like these videos, please share with everybody else. You know, try to get the word out. If nothing else, you know, promote to other gamers and stuff like that. Show them how cool these games are, so that way this game can get more funded and we can have more updates and whatnot. But I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a whole lot more updates, just from looking at, you know, other servers. A lot older servers have, you know, are a lot more progress than we are on this server. But if you liked them, hit them up. If not, you know, put the thumb down. Really doesn't matter to me. I'm just doing this for you guys so you can learn. So hopefully you liked it. Hit me up. If nothing else, catch me online. My line ID is sketchundead. Hit me up there, send me a message. I'll add you to my little line group that I have for this these YouTube videos and whatnot, and you can make a few more friends if you're not already online. Definitely, most games that I played, Line app is like a staple, you know, that everybody uses, because in-game chat just sucks. I know this game's chat like censors everything, like literally everything. You can't say your, because the U and the R are together, or you can't even say you are, or, you know, you can't say you refine something, because the U and the R, even though there's a space, still doesn't, it'll just bleep out the whole thing. So I highly suggest getting Line. You can chat, you can bullshit, you can send videos, you know, throw a little word out there for them. But if you like the video, again, I know I've said this like 4 times, but comment, like, share, hit me up, see if there's any other things that you guys want to learn, so that way I can make a video for it. But, alright, thanks YouTube, bye.